Good morning, goeiemôre.
Goeiemôre.
In this morning, we are talking about how life in New Zealand changes you. All right. I hope everybody can hear me well. We had a bit of a malfunction yesterday with our microphone system, which I didn't tell you about. But yeah, our beloved friends Microsoft sent us a update on our computers, and that changed the microphone settings to very soft. So yeah, without telling us. All right, guys and girls. This morning's all about how life changed us. And probably you have also seen that life changed you while you were living in New Zealand. So if you feel like putting your comments on there this morning, just drop your comments on whatever page you're looking at. I think we've got eight pages running live this morning. So how did life change you?
I think life changes you on a physical level.
It became stronger.
No, yes, like the things that you do on a everyday life kind of
Yeah,
way,
you do become
you
stronger.
change. And then also emotionally, I think you change a lot. Or I feel that I have changed a lot
Oh yeah.
emotionally.
Oh yeah.
But if we can maybe start with the everyday life in New Zealand, how that's different and how you change your mindset kind of to adapt to
From stuff
that.
that you did do or didn't do in South Africa to here.
Maybe stuff that you didn't do or stuff that you did do
Yeah.
that you now don't do. Yeah. So I think the biggest one for the women especially will be if you had people in your helping you in the garden and you had a what is a huishelp in English?
A maid.
A maid.
Maid.
If you had a maid to clean your house,
Yeah.
that you will definitely have to change your mindset around that, which I think because I knew that you can get people to clean your house here, but you pay a pretty penny for that.
Yeah.
You can pay anything between $35 an hour for someone to clean your house. And then they don't do cleaning like we used to. They don't wash the windows.
Yeah.
They just do the kind of dusting and vacuuming and clean the bathrooms, but they don't do genuine cleaning like we like it. So you just kind of adapt and do it yourself.
My biggest thing that I wished actually happened, if you go outside, the Kiwi ladies, they take the lawnmowers and they mow the lawns and stuff like that. But my wife refuses to become a Kiwi. I mean,
my husband doesn't even know how to use the dishwasher, so I'm definitely not going to mow the lawn.
I don't want to take over your role in our marriage.
Exactly, vice versa. Yes, so that is something that you actually domestic worker. Thank you.
Somebody just said domestic work biggest change and challenge for most. Yes. I agree.
But I must also say, we've talked about it now. We had a domestic worker in South Africa twice a week, and she worked from 8 to 5. And when I put my head to it, I clean my whole house like, okay, not washing the windows. Washing the windows is for a different day. But clean the whole house, like vacuuming, washing floors, everything, dusting, polishing, everything. And I do it in about 2 hours. I can do it in 2 hours. I don't do ironing because I feel I do a lot in the house. I'm not going to iron.
You can become the iron lady of New Zealand.
Everyone in my household that wants something ironed, they must do it themselves. I wash it, I hang it, but if you want it ironed, you can do it yourself.
We are two men in the house and 2 ladies in the house, so I think that gives us a bit of a more waardering. What is waardering in English?
Appreciation.
What's
with the English this morning?
I've totally run out of English this morning, so sorry about
Me
that.
Too.
It gives us a bit of appreciation of what gets done. So suddenly you don't walk into your cupboard and everything is ironed and everything is ready for you just to use. If you want to use your shirt like this, I need to go and iron that quickly just to get it presentable. So I have looked for clothes that doesn't need to be ironed, but I struggle to find them.
And it's not really that bad, eh?
No, it's not that bad.
It takes you 5 minutes in the morning if you want something ironed, you can just do it. So That is something that we had to get used to.
Washing your own car is another thing.
Washing your car,
Yeah.
you can wash it, but it's like a wash and go kind of thing. You have to pay, and you also have to wash it yourself.
Let's be quite frank. We've never been there.
No, we haven't.
Okay, let's be quite frank. I've never been there. When I come back from the ocean, I just leave the car onto the boat and just wash the holes from the car's nose to the boat's end and just wash them all. Just get it done. It's not
you
that
just wash your
difficult.
own car. No,
Yeah.
it's not that bad. And then also I think the way that you think about shopping, it's quite different in New Zealand than what it
I
was
knew it was
for me
going
in
to go
South
to
Africa.
shopping.
Yeah, but you have to kind of
It's
just
a
get your
female
head
thing,
around
so-
that. The shops are not that big. They've got enough variety, but they don't have the variety that something's in my mouth, that you were used to in South Africa, but you get used to that as well.
Yeah.
And I had to kind of just cut on the budget a little bit because in South Africa, you just got, I mean, you live the life and you just, just go shopping. But yeah, you kind of just have to think a
On
little
the
bit
other
about what you
channel,
buy.
Casper de Vries says, "Good morning." He also says, "I can do all housework, but hate ironing."
Me too. That's why I don't do it.
Vanita, you must listen to this. Vanita this morning reckons that mowing the lawns is very therapeutic.
For the men,
So
yes.
if anybody needs any therapy, I've got 1,600 square meters of lawn to be mowed.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's gonna COVID me, man.
I think if everyone just do their part,
Yeah.
then it's very easy.
It's also a few things that you get used to or need to get used to. As you said, some of the shopping you do, but some of the shopping we do online these days. If you buy big stuff, I know in South Africa, nearly all the big centers has got big stuff. I'm now busy looking for a patio for my back. I've just bought one that's 6 meters of patio. I bought this over the internet. I couldn't go to anywhere to go have a look and see what it's all about. So I had to look at their pictures and hope that their pictures is 100% correct. And
the delivery service is very quick. If you buy something from the warehouse or from Briscoe's or whatever, you can expect it the next day or in 2 days' time.
Especially fishing goods, guys. If you buy fishing goods, tomorrow morning it's here.
So it gets delivered very quick. So you don't actually have to go to the shops if you don't want to. And I feel like that online, you probably get a little bit more of a variety because they don't always have all the same stuff in all the franchises.
Yeah.
So I think if you buy online, you get the best of both worlds.
Yeah. Bonita also says I mow the lawns with my gumboots. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. It's a fashion statement.
In New Zealand, everyone has to have gumboots.
Yep.
I don't think there's anyone that don't have it because you use it a lot. Yeah.
What else was there on your list?
Then just the emotional things that you have to get used to and the way that you change emotionally. I feel that you get much stronger within yourself because immigration, as everyone knows, is not for the faint-hearted.
Yeah.
You have to kind of be strong.
I started looking at life at a bit different way. So, can I touch that subject now? Of the fat one.
Yeah.
Food is good in New Zealand.
You'll get a lot of people that disagree with you, but I agree with you.
Food is good in New Zealand. I'm going to say this again.
You can see it.
And it's seriously struggled to lose weight. I've been up and down. I've been roller coasting.
And I think the other thing is that it's much less stressful.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about people that's really waiting for residents and stuff that's really stressful. But everyday life in New Zealand, I feel, is less stressful.
Remember, people also eat out of stress.
Some people do, yes. Not everyone does.
Like me.
Okay, so what are you stressing about?
It's sometimes when I don't stress at all, I eat as well.
You eat.
I just
Never
eat.
mind.
No, I think the thing I won't say I struggled to get used to this, but that was a big change for me was the fact that in New Zealand they use much less sugar, they use much less salt, way less than what we used to use in South Africa. And now I love it, but the first few weeks was a bit. The food didn't taste.
I think it's like they're kind of cooking the English way.
Yeah,
Because in England, it's also like that.
That's right.
Yeah. You get used to it.
Oh, yeah,
You
you
get used
get
to it
used to it
very
very
quick, and it's
quickly.
actually good. It's actually good.
And it's
'cause
quite nice now.
I liked salty food very much when we lived in South Africa, and now I really don't miss it. I really don't miss
Yeah.
it.
So
I think you also learn a lot about yourself. We've been here 3.5 years now, and I still learn a lot about myself every single day. I still learn, and I learn a lot about you, and you kind of you learn a lot about other people.
so
Don't you?
there's still a bit of mistake in me.
Oh, you don't want to know. It's like you kind of just focused on how other people feel because you know what you're going through, and you know what it took from you to just go through this move, and everything
Yeah.
that it brings to the table. So
Can I read this from Charlene Bossoff saying, "Hi guys, for me it was a change of that most employers are very sensible in regards to leaving early to fetch your child from school, whereas in South Africa, if you are late or leave early, you probably had to beg for it or take a day's leave." That is so as well.
I've heard
It's
that a
called
lot.
compassionate, I
Yes.
think. Compassionate, yeah.
And in New Zealand, your kids comes first
Yeah.
in all instances. It doesn't matter where you work, your kids comes first. So
There is still one or two employers.
I
I've
know,
spoken to one or
I
two of
know.
my clients, and they said to me, the employer is bad, real bad. They were 5 minutes late because they had to drop off the little kid at school, or they had to take half a day because the kid was very sick and the school called them to come and fetch the kid, and they just didn't want to understand this.
But overall, what
Overall,
I hear from the people
overall,
is that they
yeah.
are very sensitive
Yeah.
about this. So
So,
that is a good thing.
and you got to remember that, because one day you could be the boss.
That's the thing.
Keep that in
Just
mind.
think about what other people are going through, and you don't know
Yep.
what's happening at home, especially with if you're an immigrant.
Yeah.
So many things happening in your life that really you don't need someone to be nasty with you. I can just imagine.
And being in New Zealand, for me as a man, I had so many different feelings. Yes, I do have feelings. I had so many different feelings in me in the first few months of uncertainty, feelings of ranging from utter despair. I promise you, from utter despair to being the most happy that I ever was in my life. And this was all within a few months out of each other. And sometimes in the same day, I would go from being the happiest chap in the world to being the saddest guy ever because of all this emotions that was flooding through me. And um, I didn't become an emotional wreck or needed any weird stuff or pills or used any weird stuff because of that. But the fact is, it does happen, and if it could happen to me, it can happen to you,
It does. I think it
and
happens
it
to
happens to
everyone.
people. And sometimes people don't understand what's happening to them. That's the sad part. Or let me not say the sad part, but you don't understand why this morning you want to wake up and want to cry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to the world of women.
So that does happen, and okay, let me take the spa here for the guys. Ladies, if you don't know what's going on with your hubby, perhaps he's just too proud to show you that he is having a real crappy day.
You know what is the other thing? And I've read something on Facebook yesterday that's what's making me think of this. If you need help financially, emotionally, maybe just physically, someone helping you with the children, someone just helping you to fetch them from school, drop them off, take them to sports or whatever. If you don't ask,
Nobody will know.
you are going to suffer in silence. Don't be
Yep.
too proud to ask. The people that immigrated has got a different mindset. They will help you. I can tell you, if someone puts something on Facebook, the response is just remarkable, and it's within seconds that people offer to help. So don't be proud. We all need help sometimes.
And I know that sometimes you need a break. Sometimes you do need a break from your wife or your husband. You do need a break from your kids.
Mhm.
Ask somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to ask.
Ask somebody. Yeah.
People can only say no, and
Mm.
then so what? You've got nothing to lose,
Yeah.
and no one's going to think you.
Nobody's going to say no if you ask them just to have a look
Yeah.
at your kids for, let's say, 2 hours. You
No,
take your
no.
wife for a
Everyone
movie or something
understands it.
like
If
that.
they don't
So
understand it, then
that's my romantic. That's my romantic cue for the morning. So
Felix is just
saying they call it mental
yes,
health.
and
Yep,
that's true.
that's true. Yeah.
Your mental health takes a strain, even if you didn't believe that
Mm.
you could be emotionally not very
Yeah.
stable. It's not like you're unstable, but you go through an emotional roller coaster. Let me
But
tell
there
you.
is good news. There
Yes.
is good news. You do come through this. It
Yes.
does go away
Mm,
eventually. Um, it does become less, and you become a better person. I would say you
mm.
become a more stable person. You start liking your life much more.
And I know at most of the employers, they give you a personal day. So I don't know how many personal days you get in a year. I just heard that you get a personal day. So the day that you're really feeling
Mm.
down in the dumps and you feel like you're not going to get up today,
Yep.
you can take a personal day. So that is something that you can also, which is actually very
It's
nice.
quite nice.
Yeah, I think everyone
Mm.
is. Yeah, we all need a personal day. I need
Well, the
some
thing is, we as
sometimes.
we as humans, we differ so we differ a lot from each other,
Mm,
but we are so much the same actually.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Mm.
keep that in mind. If you think you're the only person in the world having a real crappy day today, it's probably not so. There's probably a heck of a lot of people all around you that's having a bad day.
Felix is looking for someone that needs therapeutic.
Cutting the grass. So I think I'll introduce Felix and Vanita to
Connected
each
to each
other.
other, yeah. Um,
So reach out if you need your grass cut
yeah.
or want to cut somebody's grass.
Then another thing that I've noticed, which happens a lot in
Mm.
most cases actually, um, people changes career when they move to New Zealand. So uh, I think it's probably because sometimes you don't get a position in the
Yeah.
career path that you are following, and then you kind of just decide to just change career.
Mm.
And other people come here with the idea that I'm not going to do what I did in South Africa. That is what I did. I came here and I was thinking I'm not going to do what I did in South Africa again.
The-
And then you just change
yeah.
your
On
path.
on that subject, we had a bit of a discussion yesterday. And my thoughts on this was okay, and the wife doesn't reckon I'm 100% correct. So that's normal. She does normally reckons I'm not 100% correct. But my thoughts was in South Africa, the male or the man of the house had basically a leading role to be the main breadwinner or to be the better of the better half. She reckons I'm not 100% correct.
Better of the better half?
Yeah, the one
No,
that
I hear
goes
what you're
out and
saying.
goes out
Mm,
and work, and the wife has got
mm,
more than nurturing. I won't say less hour job,
mm.
but some of that has changed all around you. There's a lot of guys coming on their wife's visas,
Yes.
and the wife becomes the main breadwinner.
Yeah, and they stay at home
And
dad
please
for a
note,
few years.
I'm not saying this is bad. Please note, I'm
No,
just saying this is the way that life changes you
yes.
in New Zealand.
I was just saying that I think it also changed a lot in South Africa because of the unemployment rate
Yeah,
in South Africa. A lot of women had to step up and be the breadwinner.
that's right.
But in New Zealand, what is different in New Zealand, and I think that is something that I think the men has to kind of get used to, is
Mm.
the dads in New Zealand.
I agree with that. Yeah.
I'm
Somebody
so,
agrees with me.
the dads in New Zealand are very hands-on. I know the dads
Mm.
in South Africa is also, but it's like here the roles just change
Yeah.
dramatically.
The
Mm,
thing is, most people, and I know it's not everybody, there is some people that's really working crazy hours here,
mm,
really crazy hours. And I feel sorry for you guys. But most people have got a bit more freedom. Most people have got time to take the kids to the parkie,
mm.
to what's a park in English?
Fuck.
A park. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
people has got really time to do that, and they've got time to either do that together, or the dad can take the kids while mum goes to work, and he just goes and loves it. People really do this.
I think it's also a mindset thing
Yeah.
because you are so used to just rushing
Mm.
and everything has to get done in a
Yeah.
certain way because you have to be here and you have to get the kids and you have to
Mm.
do this and that. And in New Zealand, the way of living is much more relaxed
That's right.
and much more laid back. So you can actually, and I think that's something that we have to teach ourselves. Just tone down,
Mm.
relax a little bit, leave the dishes, and go to the park with your kids
Yeah.
or go with a walk on a walk with your husband or
I,
whatever.
I
You
can
can do this the other stuff
I can
later.
probably say this. A client of mine was rushing in Auckland. I think it's Auckland. Was rushing to school because a kid was standing outside, and she was actually rushing because it was starting to rain a little bit, and the police stopped her.
Mm.
And this guy asked her why was she in such a rush. And she said, "Well, my kid is standing outside the school." And he said he said to her, "You're not in South Africa now."
He's not going to stand outside. I can promise you
So yeah,
that.
Selena
Yeah.
Horn saying on the other channel, talking about changing career in SA. I were a debt collector, but now I am a childcare reliever.
Yes.
That's a big change.
I know of people that come
Mm.
here that actually starts their own house cleaning business.
Yep.
That is not something that you would do in South Africa. Everyone will look down at you.
Yeah.
Um, and then Cheryl is saying that study in South Africa is almost unaffordable for everyday people,
Mm.
and in New Zealand, when you've got PR, um, you are actually able to study.
Yeah.
Um, yes, and I know that for the school leavers, I went to a career expo the other day with my godchild, and your first year of study is free. And I know that you can get a study loan from the bank,
Mm.
and you can actually you only start paying that off once you start working. It
I think it's
happens
from government.
automatically. I think it happens
So
automatically. And I know of people that still paying off these student
it's in their
loans.
40s.
That's already for children and stuff. So it is possible. I know
Yeah.
that if you don't have PR, it is quite expensive
Yeah.
to study in New Zealand. But I mean, it's worth the wait, I
Mm.
think. I know of ladies that's my age or even older that changed career when they were my age and started to study something else. And I really take my hat off to them. It's
I think it could also be a burning desire for
I
somebody.
think so. I
Just
think
to say,
so.
when I grew up, I wanted to become a fireman.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm not going to become a fireman now. I promise everybody, I'm not going to become a fireman. But if I really wanted to, and that was the type of career change that I wanted to do,
You
New
could.
Zealand is the place to do that.
Yes.
To be
Yeah.
quite frank, if I want to become a fireman tomorrow, New Zealand's probably the best place to
Yeah.
be.
You can in New Zealand you can be whatever you want to be and
Mm.
no one is even gonna frown about it. You can be a gardener in other people's gardens if you want to. If
Yeah,
that's therapeutic for you, I mean,
do it.
we know that it's therapeutic and some
Mm.
people love it. And you can do it, yeah. You can be whatever you want to, yeah. The materialistic things that was so important in South Africa, it's nothing, yeah.
Mm. I'm going to read this. It's a bit of a long one, so I'm just going to
Mm.
do the shorter version. I would have loved to have kids and raise them in New Zealand. Maternity leaves are a bit different. Dads can get some maternity leave. Yeah, we would have had more time with them and wouldn't be in a rushed life. It has taken a year to settle down and not to rush everywhere.
It
Yeah,
takes time to get
takes
used to
time.
that, yeah.
Takes time.
Yes. I think you kind of just learn to, or it's a good thing to
Mm.
learn that you don't have to do everything
Yeah.
now.
And I want to say something. Take time to give yourself time
Mm.
to do this. Take
Yes.
time. Take time. It's not going to happen tomorrow morning. I promise you. You're not going to wake up tomorrow morning and say, wow, you have to take time. It takes a while before you get out of the South African real rush and this fight or flight
Mm.
mode. Because, I'm sorry, I'm not a psychologist, so please get that right. But in South Africa, you are always looking over your shoulder. You are always in this fight or flight mode. And here you don't need it.
No. It
And
takes time to
it
wind
takes you,
down.
it
Yeah.
took me 2 years.
It takes
Mm.
time. It does take. Sometimes you think you kind of over it, and then
Yeah.
something happens, and you realize, oh
Yeah.
my word, I'm still in that
Mhm.
mindset. So it really takes time. I know of people that's been here for many, many, many,
Yeah.
many years, and they still sometimes struggling with that. I
In
think
the
if there's one thing that you should learn is that life is more important than stuff.
mm,
You don't have to clean the house every single day. You don't have to wash the dishes in the
yeah,
next 5 minutes.
yep.
You can do something that's good for you. The dishes can wait.
And Felix, you don't need to cut your grass in the next week, 2 weeks, three
No,
weeks.
let it
Let it
grow.
grow. I got to say something. I thought I was over the fight or flight mode the other morning. Uh, One of the trucks, they have this massive doors at the back, and they closed that with a massive bang, and I nearly dove to
Mm.
the ground. So it's still
Yeah, still
in the
something still
behind.
there.
Something's always in there.
That is a nice one, yeah.
We, as a family, all work together. Miss our support system in South Africa. New Zealand has taught us how to take life
As it
at
is.
as it is. And that's from Lalani Solomon.
Yeah, I
Thanks for that.
know that we all kind of miss our support system when you
Mm,
get here, especially if you're young and you had your parents to help with the kids,
yeah.
and you had friends that help you with the kids and whatever you needed. When you get here, it's very difficult, so you kind of have to rely on each other to get everything done and to sort the kids out and so. But like I said, ask for help. And I think once you get make new friends and kind of adopt a new family in New Zealand, then it will get better again. You
Oh yeah.
just have to get out of your comfort zone, I think, just to put yourself out there and just ask for help. And another thing is, what I realize is that people here don't actually wait for you to ask for help. They'll um,
Sometimes just offer.
they'll offer
Mm,
to help when they see
yeah.
someone struggling.
Yeah. Vanita just reminding Felix that his neighbors will complain if he doesn't start mowing the grass, and I think his wife will too. So, yeah, it's quite interesting the difference that happens to you. So it's a lot of things that you need to do. It's a lot of things that you need to get used to, especially, and a lot of things that are changing on the inside of you. And I would like to believe that it's changing you for the better.
I think it does, yeah.
Mm,
I think you must just allow yourself some time to adapt and to adjust because
yeah,
it takes time. Don't think if after 2 years you're still not coping,
yeah.
that it's going to be like that forever. Give yourself some time.
Especially with kids, after school care is super
Very
expensive.
expensive. I know.
Yeah,
I
I
know
relate to that.
yeah, I know that
So,
it's very expensive. So if you don't have grandparents here
mm.
that can look after the kids, I know it's really
But
expensive.
luckily that kids grow up.
They do.
They do.
They do.
They
I
do.
just kind of,
So
yeah.
somebody just saying, what are the biggest cons for a job worker working in New Zealand? I
It's
don't know. You're gonna miss everything, mate. You're gonna miss it. Hijackings, car guards, nobody that fills up your petrol,
rushing,
rushing.
uh,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
traffic
Traffic. Oh my goodness. Oh, you can do the traffic. If I'm a
in
job worker, I
Auckland.
would rather go to Auckland and sit in
Yeah.
the traffic the whole day there.
I
Yeah.
think if you kind of, I'm not only talking to the women, but I'm talking to the women too. If you're a lady that likes to go to the mall every weekend and yeah,
Hmm.
then you'll have to make a big change.
But remember, I felt in South Africa that going outdoors wasn't very safe.
Mm,
Here, I feel going outdoors is very stupid if you don't
yeah,
do it.
but I'm talking about
Mm.
shopping now. But you get used to that as well. There's no huge malls. If they
Yeah,
tell you that, have you been to Sylvia Park? And you think, okay, this must be
this must
something
be it.
really magnificent. And then you get there and it's just like a shopping center. But it's nice. I like it that it's not that big.
Yeah.
I like it.
Anita saying status for your Joburgers shopping and access the loads of money. Yep. All right, guys and girls, that was our half an hour.
Yes.
Anything more?
No, I think there's so much that you can
So
actually
much more that we
say.
could say this morning.
Mm.
So thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah,
We are off to the snow this weekend.
we going crazy this weekend. We're taking the caravan camping in
Yeah.
Oakuni.
And they say it's going to 100% chance of rain
Yep, and I see the clouds have arrived. I looked
every
last night.
day.
No clouds. Clouds are
Yeah.
here.
We'll
all
see
right.
what we look like on
So
Monday.
if you are in Owakuni this weekend and you don't recognize me, I'll be looking like this.
Yeah.
Scarves, hats,
Mm.
gloves, everything else.
Can I steal 2 minutes or not really?
Yeah.
I just want to say something about the couples breakfast that Labyrinth for Lemonade is hosting in Tauranga on the 4th of September and in Hamilton on the 18th of September. I just want to say that for the men, because I know the women all wants to come, and I know that they really want their partners to come with them, and I know that the men really don't want to do this because they think they don't need it and they don't want to sit there and yeah, this this talk is not one of those huweliksverrykingskursusse kind of thing. It is just a talk. You don't have to do anything. We're not gonna make you stand up and dance or do whatever funny stuff.
Can I have 10 minutes at that talk and talk to the guys about fishing? Then they will all come, sir.
Yeah. This is really something. I know that Labyrinth for Lemonade is actually for immigrant women, but I feel that this is actually something that all couples, it doesn't matter if you're a Kiwi, if you from wherever, everyone, this is something that everyone will benefit from because you will learn a lot about yourself as well. You're not only going to learn why your partner behaves kind of the way that he does, because it goes back
Or she does.
much
Or
more
she
further
does.
than you think. But you will learn a lot about yourself. Maybe you don't know why you are behaving a certain way, and that will just give you some insight into your own being. So I feel really, I want to ask the men, please do this for your wife if you have to, because you are going to benefit from it.
Brownie points.
Yeah, it's not only
Yeah.
that, you need this, guys.
I'm actually super excited about this
I
because that
know.
means I can understand how you work.
Yeah, but I mean, you've had a little sneak preview at the previous event that we had,
Yep.
and he already learned so much about himself. Isn't that true?
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just putting it out there so that the men don't think that this is one of those things where you're gonna make your naam gat. It's not that.
All right. It's 2 minutes. Thanks, guys and girls. All right. We'll chat to you next week. Next week, next Thursday, same time, same place. See you
Yes.
all then. Okay. Bye.
Bye.